So it's great to be back. An awful lot of things have gone on, and I'm just pleased to be feeling well back with you. And if, like me, you're getting into film, it's an old family camera, you can start off relatively cheaply. I've got my old Olympus there, it still works. I've taken a few good photographs from that. I found a really good photographic lab. Everybody's doing videos at the moment about scanning with your DSLR, which is what I do. Luckily I had this Olympus DSLR with this 30mm macro lens, so I don't have to spend any money on that. I bought myself a LED light box, which was relatively cheap on Amazon, it was about £20. The only big cost was their Negative Lab Pro, which is a plugin for Lightroom. Excellent program, highly recommend it. And I'm not going to go through all that today. So you think, well, what are you going to go through? Nobody's done this. I actually have some lab scans. Now, I'm not going to say to say these are perfect, because they've been picked up from one file to another, and obviously things can change, you know, in terms of the way it saves it and things like that. And yeah, okay, maybe they're not as good as you might see if you're looking at it directly. But I've compared them to my scans, to what I've done, and I'm going to put them up for you in this video. I'm going to look at them with you. I'm going to just sort of discuss them a little bit, and at the end it's up to you to decide, well, which is which. I'm not telling you until the end, and you can find out. But the most important thing is, I think for a change, you're going to see what the differences are. It has taken me a good month, 6 weeks to get my workflow sorted. I'd say that's one of the big tips I'd say. It takes a while to get your workflow sorted. Don't fall at the trap as I did of buying all these negative holders and things like that. Yeah, they're great, but to be perfectly honest, the big thing I've done is I've taken a black piece of card, I've cut out a 120 film size, negative size hole in it. It goes over my light box, so just concentrating the light in one area when I'm taking the picture. And basically I'm just moving my film along using that. It's keeping the film clean, it's keeping it dust free. Obviously you've got to do a lot of dust free, so, you know, with the blower. And to be honest, I found it's better than £40 I paid for this. And I know I've seen other people use the same thing I've got. And I found that the thing can still get concave. And if you're getting movement in your film, it doesn't work. So cheap piece of black card does the trick. And if you're interested in anything about the process, get in touch and I'll put a video together for that. I can't imagine that you would be, because there's so many videos. But let's look at these photographs. So the first one that we're going to come across is the red VW Beetle. It's a vintage car not far from where I live. Always like the look of it. And these are the scans of it. Obviously you've got A and B. I'm not going to discuss which is which. You can see there's a slight difference. B is a little darker than maybe A. A's got a little bit more brightness to it. The difference, you can see it. It will be your preference. I can tell you I shot this on Kodak Portra 400 with my Yashica TLR, and that's what came from that. So here we are with another car. Again, it's not far from where I live. It's a vintage car that I quite like the look of. You've got scan A and B. Again, you've got one that's a little lighter than the other. In terms of probably clarity and things like that, again, I don't think there's an awful lot of difference. They seem to be very similar. To be honest, A, you could darken it down a bit more. B, you could lighten it a bit. I honestly don't think I can see much of a difference, but I'll leave that to you. So we'll move on. This is part of a series. I'm putting a sort of little booklet type thing together. Basically, I live on the coast, so I'm putting some photographs together. Again, here we are. I think in terms of the detail, the colours, that vintagey look from film, I don't think there's a lot of difference between A and B. I think what you're looking at perhaps is, again, one's maybe a little bit warmer, a little bit brighter. But again, if you really wanted to, don't forget that if you get your images back from the lab, you can still, because they are just a digital JPEG image. I think we got close on this one. So we'll move over to my next shot, the two R&I life guards at the end of the pier, took it in the summer. This one caused me some issues. It actually caused me to change my workflow, but I was using my Leica Q macro setting, and I thought it was getting me good results until I did this one, and it was not so good. So I went back to my Olympus and I realized actually Olympus is really good. It's because it's a proper dedicated macro lens. I could really focus, pinpoint my focus, and I found that I got some good results here. Again, I'm not telling you which one is which, but you look at them, again, there's a difference. If you look closely at A, there's a touch more blue in it. Maybe it's a bit brighter again. B's just got a little bit of dullness to it, but maybe again it could be adjusted. I'm not saying which is which, but I can't see much difference in terms of detail. I can't see much difference in terms of that quality perhaps that you're looking for. I'll be equally pleased with both of these in terms of colours. Coming back to my coastal shots, again, just a couple of people enjoying the sunshine in the summer. This one, again, is just, A, tends to be a little bit more warmth to it, maybe a little bit more colour. B tends to not maybe have that so much, but B's still got that great detail and clarity. Maybe the colours, maybe they're a little bit more sort of more towards the vintage than maybe A. There is that sort of idea there. I don't know. It again, it's that idea of preference, and it's up to you what you think about that. Again, I'm not telling you which is which. This one caused me problems, mostly because it was my fault. Blame the photographer in this one. I missed my focus. It's not the clearest, but I thought that was quite good because it could really help sort of show, you know, what you can do to try and extract it. So I think in one, again, you've got the warmth, and in the other, it's a little colder. It's that interpretation. This one, again, I think shot in Portrait 400. I think these are all shot in Portrait 400 apart from the last one. This one was scanned on my Olympus, and I think it's a much better sort of photograph. I did do it with my Q, and it wasn't so good. So we come to the final one now, and this is a black and white. This took an awful lot of processing. Again, I think it might be different if I did this on my Olympus with a dedicated macro. I did this on the Leica Q, and I really had to push the program quite a bit to try and get the clarity. And sometimes it can be a little bit softer, but then again, that's film photography for you. But if you compare the two, one's a little darker than the others, maybe a little bit more brightness in the B shot than compared to say the A, but the A's got maybe more contrast. That's maybe something people enjoy. A is the scanned image from myself, and B is the lab image. So if you come through, again, I'm going to quickly go through the sort of the images that I've talked about. I think with the VW Bug, I think I didn't quite nail the colors. As you can see here, I didn't quite nail that VW color. I prefer the color in B of the VW, but again, it's just it really is a matter of your own choice. In this one, I definitely preferred my scan A to B. It was a bit murky B. I don't think it got the true nature of what portrait can be about. I was pushing portrait as well. Again, A and B, I actually prefer A. I preferred my own scan in this instance. B, again, maybe a bit too dull. When it came to this one I really struggled with. In the end, once I'd taken the shot with the Olympus, I actually have to say I prefer A. I prefer that slightly more faded look, and that leads us into this one. I do prefer A in this one. I do prefer that sort of slightly more faded look, that more vintage look than say B. In this one, I missed the focus. I preferred A because actually it showed more of the shot. They'd cropped out more in the lab, and B, as you can see, I prefer it because I think there's a slightly bit more clarity. I managed to draw a bit more clarity out than perhaps the other one, and I do like the little pop more of the colour. In this one, I think it's all about preference. Coming back to you to camera, It's all about preference, that black and white one, and I think that's something you have to decide upon. I think if you get your workflow right, if you get your equipment right, go with DSLR scanning. It does work. It does make you feel part of the analog process. And I'm hopeful that this video has shown you actually you can achieve lab quality. Now, you know, I'm not going to be completely sort of saying to you, oh, without a doubt, the labs, you can beat the labs. I don't think that, but I think you can get very, very close to the point you actually look and go, is it, you know, is it worth spending that £10 or more for a high resolution scan? My scans are all high resolution. I've used the enhanced feature on Photoshop. So actually they're all coming out that could actually be blown up to quite a big size if I wanted to do that. This setup didn't cost me. I had all the equipment. The only thing that's really cost me is the £20 for the light box and the £95 for the Negative Lab Pro plugin. And he goes, well, that's £110. But already I've saved £30 in high resolution scanning. So I'm already catching up. Every time I shoot a roll of film, I'm catching up and getting £10 back. So as far as I'm concerned, it's well worth it. My neighbours decide to use the leaf blower. Never mind. I might reshoot this or I might just leave it. What the heck. So I am getting my money back fairly quickly. The other big thing as well is that often when you actually look at what's been scanned, some of the things you think, well, I wouldn't have kept that photograph, and you're paying for it no matter what. Where in this instance, you're only scanning what you really want. And I think that's quite a good thing as well. And it makes me feel more analog-y. There you go, it's a new word for you. So I promise there's more videos to come. I really haven't had, as I said, the best run of things over the last few months, but hopefully I'm back. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please subscribe. It's great. I'm a small channel. I don't get many videos out, but I'm already sort of getting towards 300 subscribers, which may not seem very much, and it's probably not, but for me, I think that's brilliant. I love talking to you. You know, get in touch, you know, give me your ideas. I'm sure you will be honest. You may say, I couldn't see it probably because it's too small, but I had to find a way to put them on the same screen together. So I hope this has helped you. I hope it helps you make a decision. Please get in touch if you want me to go through my process. I can't imagine you would, because there's plenty on YouTube to see how they do this. But if you do want to see my process, I'm more than happy to go through that with you, put a video together and do that. I will have some more out and about photographs, so photography experiences, you know, that autumn. To be honest, it's coming mid-November and it's just really, I would say, really autumny now. Never known it so late. Really excited to be out and about, shooting film, shooting digital. You know, just get out there, enjoy yourselves, get in touch, and enjoy and take care. Bye-bye.